So here we're doing a series on Swedish film in particular and Swedish cinema. And let us begin with the very, very overlooked and underappreciated Insomnia from 1997. A very intriguing but very disturbing neo-noir that came out in 1997, which stars Stellan as a, to put it mildly, very iffy detective. Now, probably people are familiar with the 2002 Nolan remake, and although that shares a few plot points, it's a very, very different story. So essentially, Stellan is tasked with trying to find out who murdered a very young girl, and they give chase to who they think is guilty, and then things start to very, very quickly unravel in a very chaotic set of accidents where he makes some extremely questionable decisions and gets himself mired in a very, very difficult predicament. Now, as a noir, usually it's draped in darkness and at night. Pretty radical. It's set almost entirely in daylight. And they actually travel to a Norway town where it is, quote, 24 hours bathed in sunlight. It is not technically 24, but nearly 24 hours of sunlight. So he has really no chance to get really good sleep. So his body and his mind are being pressed to the limit. And then he gets investigated himself for some pretty credible charges. So it's a very, very fascinating look at the neo-noir from a they're really flipping the genre on its head and making use of some pretty brilliant cinematography. It is, however, a very, very bleak story. Come away with this very, very disturbed because it's not clear what we're supposed to think of Stellan. He's definitely not a hero. They made Al Pacino, which was a very good performance too, kind of very prototypical Hollywood hero. That's not Stellan. He goes places I think many people will be uncomfortable. You will be spoiled if you see the 2002 version. But this is very, very different. Somewhat different plot. Also, the length. This is a very short film, relatively speaking, but it is extremely effective and it is very engaging from start to finish. However, if you're not patient, you will think it's a little slow because, again, it doesn't follow the typical structure of a. It's really more about Stone's character and why he does what he does instead of what he does what he does. So it's a very intriguing piece. And if his central performance did not work, very disturbing, but very, very powerful. So I do recommend highly Insomnia from 1997. Underrated gem of Swedish cinema. It has a good fan base, but I think needs to be seen and appreciated by many, many more people. So again, please check out Insomnia, a very, very strong film with an incredibly star-making performance with Stellan in the lead.